Hey guys, what is going on? Anthony here with Pistons Talk. Hope you guys are having a great evening so far. What I wanted to do in today's video was react to this Bleacher Report article that says young NBA players 25 and under who already need a trade. Now, obviously, there are a lot of 25 and under players that are very talented around the league, but we're going to be focusing on your Detroit Pistons because there is a Detroit Piston in this article. He's the fourth player mentioned by Bleacher Report. So we're going to read what Bleacher Report has to say, react to it, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on what Bleacher Report has to say. So the player that Bleacher Report has is Jaden Ivey. Now, I want to say this before we get into Bleacher Report's reasoning why the Pistons may look to explore to trade Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey will be contract extension eligible going into next summer, right? We just saw Kate Cunningham sign a $200 million contract over the next 5 seasons with the Detroit Pistons. They're locking him down. Smart investment, in my opinion. Jaden Ivey, I believe, will get at least over $100 million. I think that's the type of market that he will have. I think he's a very good player. I thought last year was just an up and down year. And a lot of the things that we saw last year was more of a coaching thing, not so much a Jaden Ivey thing. But we'll get into what Bleacher Report has to say of why they think the Pistons may or may not trade Jaden Ivey. So let's get into it, you guys. So they start off by talking about how Jaden Ivey did not start last season, and he got benched for, in favor of Killian Hayes because that was a Monty Williams decision. And we've kind of talked about that before on this show, on this podcast, on this YouTube channel, if you will. I think the decision last year I thought was just such a complete waste of not only your guys' time, the fan base's time, but Jaden Ivey's time. Last year, Jaden Ivey should have been getting starter two guard reps next to Kate Cunningham to build that chemistry so they can gel together. I thought it was a complete joke that it took 45 games for Jaden Ivey to start. I thought it was a complete joke that Troy Weaver and Tom Gores had to have a meeting with Monty Williams to let him know, hey, we just drafted this guy a couple of years ago, start him. But I know I rambled a little bit, but that's how they do start off their argument with possibly trying to trade Jaden Ivey. They go on to say, while new head coach JB Bickerstaff should be smarter about making Ivey an immediate starter coming out of training camp, there's far more talent at the shooting guard and small forward position that could lead to a change in a role for Ivey. I probably shouldn't have laughed at Bleacher Report saying that JB Bickerstaff's smarter than Monty Williams. It kind of felt like a sneak diss. But to their point, we did add Malik Beasley. We added Tim Hardaway Jr. as our veteran shooting guards, if you will. So I think the pathway for Jaden Ivey, I think, should be a starting two guard, but they're kind of making the case that it may not be as clear cut as some of the fan base thinks that he should start as a two guard. They go on to say Ron Holland was selected with the 5th overall pick in this draft, and the first under new president of basketball operations, Trajan Langdon. There will likely be pressure from this new front office for Holland to either start or play big minutes before too long, which I tend to disagree with. I don't really think they're going to have Ron Holland immediately start. I really don't. I don't really think there's a need for him to immediately start, but that's the first part of this article I do disagree with. They're going to say Malik Beasley started 77 games as a shooting guard for the Milwaukee Bucks last season, and the Pistons need his three-point shooting, 41.3%. After finishing tied dead last in makes per game with 11. Wow, we only had 11 threes a game. That's actually kind of sad. And 26th in accuracy at 34.8%. See, sometimes I don't know how bad we are until I read articles like this. I had no idea we were that bad. I just didn't. They also go on to say that Tim Hardaway Jr. was his salary dump, but his floor spacing could earn the veteran wing a spot in the rotation as well. Asar Thompson is extremely versatile, yet should he even more time on the floor on the wing this season. 76% of his minutes last year via cleaning the glass after the Pistons gave Tobias Harris $52 million over the next 2 years to be the team's new starting power forward. It's a fair question whether or not Ivey can still get enough minutes and shots to develop into a star in Detroit, a franchise that just committed a max deal to Cade Cunningham. The Pistons have a year to figure things out before Ivey becomes extension eligible next summer and may be forced to start listening to trade offers already. So there's a lot to unpack here from Bleacher Report. We're going to just focus on the Jaden Ivey contract extension, and Bleacher Report talking about, he's one of these 5 players that could use new scenery, possibly a trade. I don't think the Pistons are going to trade Jaden Ivey. I honestly don't. I'd be very surprised if they did. I want to say that first and foremost. To the contract extension. I think it's very early to have these conversations. It's July 30th as I'm recording this video, you guys. The Pistons don't need to stress themselves out. They just need to let Jaden Ivey play basketball and then evaluate him as the season goes on. Because I think Jaden Ivey is still incredibly young. He's going into his 3rd season in the NBA. And I think there's still a lot that he can work on defensively and offensively. I think he's a young prospect that I think a lot of teams would really like to have. I think the discourse with him right now is more from not only some of the core fan base among Pistons fans, but also larger media like Bleacher Report, for example. A lot of them really like to hyper focus on fit right now in Detroit, and they don't feel that Jaden Ivey is a good fit for the Detroit Pistons. We really don't know that. Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey have barely played together, and that's due to injury and it's due to coaching. Obviously, last year at Monty. We need to let these guys try to gel, build chemistry, see what's there, see if Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey are a backcourt that can grow together. And if they can, then you're going to extend them going into next summer. But if we go into next season and it's a shaky start and the consistency's not there, then you start having those conversations. But I think it's way too early. I think the Pistons just need to let Jaden Ivey play his game. Let JB Bickerstaff worry about how he's going to deal with the Cade Cunningham and the Jaden Ivey backcourt, staggering them, all that stuff. I think it's way too early to even have these conversations, but that's just kind of my my final thoughts on this. I think it's early in the off season. It's an off-season article. It's an off-season topic. But let me know what you guys think of Bleacher Report's reasoning why the Pistons may or may not try to trade Jaden Ivey. They mostly mentioned because of all the guys like Tim Hardaway Jr., Malik Beasley, and Ron Holland may get in the way. Also mentioned him having his contract, being eligible to sign his contract. Going into next summer. I'll talk to you guys down there. Like always, hope you guys are staying safe. Take care, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.